All right, welcome back to the To Be Better podcast. We are the Chris's. We do question and answers, emails, and sometimes we simply talk shit. But first, a disclaimer.
We are not professionals.
No.
Everything that we speak on is opinions derived from experiences and outside knowledge we've gotten from other resources.
Mm-hmm.
If you get any value or something we said resonates with you, share this.
Yes, that's how we grow.
And if you're not subscribed, why not?
Yeah, that's a good question.
If you're not subscribed, you're going to miss out on this whole experience. That's the Chris's.
That is the Chris's.
Please leave a comment. Your comments are actually super dope to read. Knowing how that we've impacted you or your relationship, it just helps us continue to do what we're doing, and it shows that what we say works sometimes. And to submit a question or just to email us and say how we've helped or maybe constructive criticism, email us at tobebetterco@gmail.com.
The number 2.
The number 2. Emails will be read anonymously on this podcast, unless specified otherwise by the sender. So if you don't want us to put your story out there, tell us that.
Correct.
If you're going to send emails, please be as detailed as possible. If you give us a one-sided email about how your partner is the problem, that is all we will address.
Yeah, you will get a one-sided reply.
Yes. Nobody is perfect. Take accountability. Everybody can grow.
Whew, preach.
And we are giving unbiased, honest opinions. We are not yes men. So if you submit something to us, be prepared for an answer that you might not like getting. But we are going to give you a very honest, outside perspective.
Is that the full disclaimer?
Yeah.
Now to the episode. Me.
Shoppers, can I get a fucking oh yeah? Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a full belly.
do you really want to do this right now?
I do, because I really enjoyed that email, so I would like to discuss it.
Okay.
Welcome back to the show, guys. We are obviously, you guys got the normal disclaimer. We are recording on a Wednesday. We normally don't do it until Thursday, but Thursdays have been our all-day record day for the podcast and trying to get all that going. And though I don't know what we're going to do for the podcast tomorrow, because we are kind of just blowing through content.
Yeah.
We got an email today that I actually genuinely liked. It's from someone from Honduras, and it's not the typical shit that we get.
Right.
So I would like to do that email.
And I would like to clarify, this is a single woman too. This is not somebody in a relationship, and she's still finding value in the things that we're saying.
Right.
I think that's super dope. So she apologizes because English is not her first language. So she wants to say, I want to thank you both because since I found you on TikTok, you guys have given me purpose. I am what would be traditionally considered a strong, independent woman. I come from a family mainly led by strong females who have had to be strong throughout their lives to be able to provide for their families, as they had poor luck with their partners and have been instilled since a very young age to never settle on a poor life quality just because a man won't provide as needed.
Pause. I agree with all of that. I am a huge proponent of living your life to the fullest that you can live it,
right?
And not relying on somebody else to do those things. So in the event that we are very traditional based, and we preach a lot of that. But as a woman, if you did not have a man, I would want you to have the best life that you can have. And if that means that you have to be in your masculine in the workforce and fucking shit on dudes and run that game to be that, the highest paid in the position you can have, I would want that for you. I would want that for my kids. Like I want people to be successful. I think that personal excellence is a big deal. Not necessarily being dependent on a man, because there's situations where there are women who are breadwinners and they can still have traditional values, and she can be the breadwinner.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they can make things work to still have those roles, and he can still be a gentleman. Sometimes it's just how life works out. But she did word that in there that they've had bad luck with men.
I was just getting ready to touch on that.
Go ahead.
You don't have bad luck in a string of bad relationships. Say you've dated 4 or 5 people and all those people treated you like shit. There's one common denominator in all those relationships. And not saying that you're at fault for those people being shitty people. You are choosing shitty people.
Right. That's where I was going.
It has nothing to do with luck.
We've been there.
Right.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
You have a preference.
Right.
And like women want the bad boy, and they want to be able to like get him to change for them so that they can have the the bad boy.
He's an asshole to everyone, but he loves me.
Right. But you're not going to change those type of people. If that's
Right.
just who they are, that's just who they are. Sometimes it might be beneficial to look at the people that you've never dated before, or look at the people that you friend zone, because those are the ones that might really change your life, you know? But you are right. I was going to say you are the common denominator in all of that. If you've had 300 relationships and all of them failed, you were in all 300 of those relationships, not everyone else. And that's not us saying that everything is your fault. It's saying that you always have room for improvement. And when you realize that and you do the work, you're going to have better outcomes in life because of it.
And when you say room for improvement, I want to elaborate on that a little bit. It's having self-worth.
Right.
When you are constantly getting with people who degrade you and treat you like shit, you're allowing those people to do that. So when you take a step back and be like, why am I okay with this happening? Why don't I speak up for myself? And then once you start setting boundaries, those shitty people are going to start to leave your life because they don't do well with boundaries.
Right.
And once you like stay strong and you like draw that line in the sand and you show them if they cross that, there's consequences, you're going to start attracting the people who respect boundaries and respect you as a person. And it's all self-growth.
That's a pretty bold statement.
Why is that a bold statement?
It's like, maybe bold is not the right word to use there, but that was a bold statement. That was like a very good, when you start setting boundaries and stop letting people shit on you, you will attract men who respect boundaries. Like,
right.
It comes down self-worth. You're right. That's just, I don't know. I guess the way you worded it kind of struck me just then. That's a very good point.
I've been thinking about that point a lot recently.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I said that in a very impactful way.
Yeah, no, it was impactful. I guess it's probably more important than bold, or better stated than bold.
Yeah.
But because people don't think about that.
Right. They just think I'm a victim in every single scenario because these people are pieces of shit. You can't make somebody not be a piece of shit, but you can change the way that people treat you.
You can change the way that people perceive you as well.
Right. Well, when I say you can change the way people treat you, you can change the way you react to how people treat you. So if your man is constantly calling you a bitch and you just take it on the chin and say nothing about it, he's going to continue to do that, even though it hurts
think
you.
it's okay.
Right. So once you draw that boundary and be like, hey, when you call me that, it really hurts my feelings, and then they continue to do it anyway, you walk away.
Yeah.
That person has shown you that they're not willing to stop the simplest thing in your relationship to make you feel more comfortable. It's not worth it.
Would you say that staying, when people do that they're settling for a man that does these things and they're just accepting it? Like, you're settling.
100%, yeah.
Because unless you're married, you absolutely can walk away from a scenario.
Right.
It's not going to be easy, but it's doable.
Right.
I mean, even if you're married, it's possible to walk away. You know, for a dude, you're going to lose a lot of your shit, but like, it's material. You can always make more of it, or buy more of it, or, you know, make more money or whatever.
From personal experience, I've been treated by shit by a lot of men. And it's because of the men that I was choosing, but it was also because I had low self-esteem. And I thought, if I love this person, even though they treat me poorly, they say they love me. And they just say that they love me. That's what I need. And if I leave this person, no one else is going to love me.
Right, but somebody saying that they love you and showing that they love you are very, very
right.
different
It is two very
things.
different things. And I said that specifically that way because you are saying you love me, but you treat me like you don't. But because you say it to me and you appease that emotional, I need to hear it, I'm going to stay because you say you love me.
Yeah.
Because I need that attention. And I'm scared I'm not going to find it elsewhere, because if I leave you, I see myself as this disgusting creature unworthy of love. I know other people see that as an illogical thought process. But that's how I felt in those scenarios when I didn't leave someone treating me like shit. Did that make sense?
It did. I just don't have anything else to add to that. So
I've always taken pride in being strong, being able to solve my issues on my own, to always be the one to provide solutions instead of being the one asking for help. I'm a very good driver, and I pride myself on taking top-notch care of my car. You get the picture.
Can I make a joke real quick about women drivers? I'm just kidding.
Yo, not gonna lie, I'm a woman driver, and I'll be doing some shit out there on the road. I'll be like, damn, I'm that woman driver. I'd be like, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm trying my best. With this has also come the notion that, as a strong, independent woman, guys will be intimidated by me, and that is somehow a good thing, and that I will always have to be the one in charge, and that ending up alone is a very strong possibility, as men can't handle a woman as strong as I am, and submitting to a man is out of the discussion.
Okay, pause. 'Cause there's a whole lot there I want to address.
That sounds like a lot of generational trauma taught from one woman down to the daughter, because men ain't shit.
It sounds like a whole lot of social media brainwashing to me too.
I mean, in the current state, yes.
The way that it's worded, men are not intimidated by successful women.
They don't want to deal with it.
We don't want to deal with the nonsense that comes along with it.
Women who are that, I used to be this woman. I would beat on my chest. I am a strong, independent woman. I do not need no man. Like, I can take care of myself. I'm better than you because I'm a woman. I'm doing all the things a man can do. I almost said the C word. I am pretty sure I can't say that on YouTube.
I mean, you can say whatever you want, which probably not do so well.
I was definitely a see you next Tuesday type of person with that mentality. And it was because I was so angry at my life. There are women who are definitely strong, independent women who are successful and they're amazing, but they're not complete assholes to everybody else, you know?
When you put that out there, when you wear that as a facade, because it is a facade.
It is.
When you wear that, and that is who you portray yourself to the world to be, people who are high value men, people like myself that make really good money, that are very, I'm high maintenance in that, like, I like the shit that I like,
right?
But I'm a big 12-year-old. I can afford all my toys.
Right. When you say high maintenance, you want like the new, latest, and greatest toy, not
Right.
high maintenance as in.
But I am low maintenance in terms of everything else. Like,
Right.
I don't need a lot. I want happiness. I want peace, and I don't want conflict. And anytime anything comes into my life that starts bringing unnecessary drama, I try to correct the problem. And when I can't correct the problem, I remove that shit from my life because I don't want to have unnecessary arguments. I don't want my peace fucked up. I want to enjoy my time here. I don't have a lot of it left. Like,
right.
so it's not that men, high value men, are intimidated by independent women. We're not. There's not an intimidation factor there. It's the attitude and the beating, like you said, beating on your chest and to be that. There's nothing that a woman provides a man in a relationship other than companionship. Just like there's nothing we provide you. You can do everything on your own. You don't need us.
Right.
And in a first world country like ours, it's very wealthy. It's very easy for you to go pay somebody to fix your cars.
Right.
You can pay somebody to come cut your grass. You don't need a man to do those things. You need a man for companionship or want. You don't need anything. We don't need anything. If we decide to marry you, it's because we want the peace and the companionship and the happiness that you bring into our lives. If you cannot bring that into our lives, there's no reason for us to even approach you. So when you see that type of ugliness from a person, why would you want to try to bring that into your peace?
Right.
What else can you read that paragraph again, please? Because there was something else.
With this has also come the notion that as a strong, independent woman, guys will be intimidated by me, and that this is somehow a good thing, and that will always have to be the one in charge, and that ending up alone is a very strong possibility, as men can't handle a strong woman as I am, and submitting to a man is out of the question.
Okay. I read this entire email, so I know what she's going to say in the next paragraph, so I'm not going to touch on that last sentence.
Right.
But the dying alone thing, or like ending up alone, if you know that the reality that you're putting out into the world of who you are as a person is going to make you end up alone, why would you do that? What benefit does that have? Like, your lifelong companion who could be out there right now waiting to meet you, waiting for you to do the work on yourself to be ready to receive them. You may miss out on that,
Right.
because you're not willing to just accept that you don't want to be alone for the rest of your life and start changing. I don't know. I actually really enjoyed this email, so I'm not shitting on this woman by any means. These are just points that I think are relevant to the conversations that we have on here.
Right.
And go. 1, 2, 3, go.
So before we go on to the next part, something that I want people to think about, all of these strong, independent women who think that men are intimidated by a strong, independent woman, those are the women who shit on men. Women who are legit strong and independent and know their worth don't shit on men the way those other strong, independent women do.
Right.
It's weak-minded women who have been hurt by men who want to put on a facade as, I am strong, I don't need you. But inside, they're just hurt and damaged and they need to go through, solve their traumas.
Sounds like toxic femininity.
I remember I said that under a TikTok. I'm pretty sure it was underneath one of your TikToks.
Yeah.
And people were losing their minds. Like, I've never heard of this. What?
It's not a buzzword
There's
yet.
a term. Yes, there's a term. And, and I feel like a lot of women are going to get triggered by what I just said, but I really want you to think about it. Like, as somebody who has lived that experience, looking back, I'm ashamed that I was that person. Like, I was so hurt and damaged that I was just oozing hatred towards the opposing gender because of things that I have seen happen in my past to other women, and hearing things from other women and then experiencing myself, because that's all I've ever seen or heard.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to point out that I actually don't believe that femininity can be toxic. I just believe people can be. Just like I believe that toxic masculinity is the absence of the masculine, true masculine. Because when you look at the definition of what masculinity is, all of the things that are a problem with women, the feminists saying that they hate masculine men, it's the absence of those things that make men a problem.
Right.
So when you have a weak, frail man who punches holes in the wall and can't control himself, and that is a toxic man, but it's not toxic masculinity. It is a toxic man. It's a little boy.
Right. And the same could be said with women who are out of their feminine.
Correct.
It's not that the femininity is toxic, it's the lack thereof it.
Right. That's it. You guys can go ahead and just send us your $99.99 now and call it a day.
I will be turning 30 in April, and up to this point, I was pretty much resigned to the idea that I would have to settle with a soft man who would have to let me lead, otherwise we wouldn't be able to make it work, as there is just no way that I would surrender to him. So I want to pause before we move on. She wants a man who's going to step up and, do the manly things and makes her feel safe. But because she was so gung-ho on being a strong, independent woman, she would have to be with a soft man.
Right.
Because a good, strong man who wants to take care of somebody is not going to want to fight with another masculine figure in their life.
Right. In terms of the house. Right.
Right.
So I guess the question that I have now is, what are you going to do to make that a thing for you? Because you know the type, okay, she follows us.
Yeah, she does.
Enough that she's now sending us emails for us to talk about this on the podcast. At this point, I'm going to assume that you've watched enough of our content to understand what a good man is.
Right.
So what are you going to do to attract that good man? And are you going to be able to recognize him? Are you going to court for a little while, do the dating thing, actually spend the time necessary to get to learn that man, find out how he is with his family, it doesn't necessarily mean finances. I know that that's a big thing for a lot of people. And I understand on TikTok, he's got to be 6 foot tall and make at least $100,000 a year and blah, 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 blah. And you know that if you make $100,000 a year, you're 5%. Right. So the reality of that, if I think it's 55% of the population in America are women. So there's only 45% of the 330 million people that are here are men. So 5% of that 330, or 45% of the 330 million, only 5% of that makes $100,000 more a year. So now you're really narrowing that market down. And if that's how you're viewing what you want, you then add the height gap in there and these things, and you're making the number of available men marginalized. And then when you figure out the ones that are already married and available, there's going to be 200 people out there for you. What are the chances of you finding them?
It's super important because it's important to remember that it takes time to get to a point where you are able to support a whole family, especially in today's society with everything being fucking inflated. I got gas this morning. It's almost back up to $4.
I was like, wait, you got gas today? What happened? I didn't hear you fart. Okay. I was pulling out my calculator because I wanted to know the math on that. Just so that, can I do that real quick? Do you care?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So out of 330 million people in America, 148.5 million of them are men. Only 5% of them make $100,000 a year or more. That's 7.4 million men. And when you factor in the ones who are married or old, which I don't know those percentages, it's got to be around 1 million people. If you live in a city like Atlanta, where there's millions of people, that probably gives you less than 200 men who are available that meet those criterias.
Right.
When you think about the logistics and the mathematic probability of you finding that man, it's so low that you might be better off winning the lottery.
Right.
That's wild to me. I actually never really broke it down like that until just now. So you got gas?
Yeah, I got gas this morning, and it was almost back up to $4. But
That's
realistically,
wild.
You're in your 40s. You did not have the money you do now when you were in your 20s.
No.
Right. It's something that you had to work towards and build towards.
Yeah. It's
over decades.
It's been a constant process for the last 15 years.
So when you get with a man, if he is not at the point where he can provide and all that kind of stuff, you're going to have to go through that, the dirty times with him. The building and getting up there and maybe taking 2 steps back to be able to take 3 steps forward in a year. It's going to be a process. And if you have a good man who's just not at the point where he can financially provide, Are you willing to be a good woman to stand by him until he's able to?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And it's more than that. It's more than that. And that, if you get an ambitious man, one who really wants to do something in life and is not lazy, and there's a difference between people who set goals and people who dream.
Right.
And you have to be careful with that. The dreamers are, I'm going to be rich one day. Yeah, tell me how you're going to be rich.
And then they don't have a plan.
Right. I want to know what you're going to do. Oh, you don't even know what kind of business you want to run? Oh, you haven't taken any steps to even try to learn that business yet? You're not even working in that field yet? You're a dreamer, bro. Like, tell me your goals.
Right.
I want to know every single step. I want to know what house you plan on living in, how many bedrooms, what's the zip code? Like, those kind of questions, what is your business? How many employees are you going to have? How much money do you think you're going to make in the first 5 years that you're there? What are you going to do about marketing? Like, those conversations are goal-oriented.
Right.
And if you have an ambitious man and you are a supportive woman and you are able to help build him and, support him mentally, not financially, but mentally, and give him that structure that he needs to grow, you are both going to be reaching those
Right.
heights. You know what I mean?
And then once he gets to that goal and he has everything he wants in his life, he's going to spoil the fuck out of you.
Absolutely.
Like every way that he can, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially. Like if you stand by a man and you help him achieve his dreams and you are just his piece along the way, that man's going to take fucking care of you for the rest of your life.
There are men out there, and I have to play devil's advocate because there are going to be women in the comments going, I did all that and he left and he cheated and blah, blah, blah. You can't just expect to be there through the bad times and have the good times be rewarded. You have to continue to be that good time.
Right.
You have to be you have to be the support system. You have to be the not nagging. You have to be, putting him first and doing all the things that you did when you guys first got together. Just because there's money involved and things have gotten easier doesn't mean that you can quit being what you were when you got together.
Right.
So
I'm going to continue reading.
Absolutely.
But ever since I found you guys, I've come to the realization that I don't really want this for me. I love that for her. I want to be able to not be strong for once and to be able to find a partner trustworthy enough for me to give away the power and control and instead follow his lead, trusting that he will always have my best interest at heart. I want for the outer world to see me as a strong woman. I want the outer world to see me as the strong woman I am. But once we step into our home, from the door in, I want to be able to be soft and feminine for my man, to be his peace and his safe space, just as he is mine. I love that. That is the whole reason I started doing the TikToks that I do. Because we are in a society dominated by the fact that you need to be a strong woman. You can't be feminine. You can't be weak. You have to be as strong as the men or you're not worth as much. And I like I've said this whole time, I was that woman. And now that I'm in my feminine and I can be soft, dude, my life has improved so fucking much. I never thought that I would ever be as happy as I am right now.
Do you remember earlier when I was like, women want the bad guy and then want him to be the bad guy to everyone but them?
Right.
It's no different than what she just said. Be that boss bitch. Be the strong intimidator to everyone in the world except for your man. And it doesn't have to just be in the house. Do it in public. You submit to me in public. There's nothing wrong with that. It shows the world that you're mine and that I'm yours.
Wait, I've done what in public?
Submitted to me in public.
Oh, yeah, I have.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Did your brain stop when I used the word submit? What happened there?
I don't know. I saw your mouth move. I don't know what I was. I think in that moment, my body was like, oh, he's praising us.
The idea that you should only be feminine and only be that person while you're in the house doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
You should be that for your man at all times, just like he should be the protector of you all the time. It's not just when you're at home. Right. Let him lead. If you trust him to lead and he shows you that he's ambitious and driven and he's a protector and he has the means mentally to do everything that you need him to do, submit to him. Let him lead. And then if something goes on that you don't agree with, talk to him about it.
In private.
Yeah. You what was the phrase that I saw the other day? Praise in public and criticize in private or something like that, but they were both words that started with C. I don't remember, but you always give compliments in public and criticism in privately. That was it. And that's one of those things because people don't want to be embarrassed. They don't want to seem like they've done wrong. So you do have those conversations privately behind closed doors, and they do need to be conversations. There's no need to be rude or shitty about it. But knowing that you want to submit to a man, and you say that when the door, when you come to the door, it should be all the time. Don't just do it at home. it's going to create an issue if you're submissive as hell at the house and you're that woman, and then in public,
you're a bitch to him.
right? Yeah, that's what I was getting at, but I wasn't going to use that term.
So I just want to share a little example. So even though I am in my feminine now, I'm still like a boss bitch in public. Like I dress myself up nice. I carry myself with pride. Like when I
love that you do that.
Yeah.
I love that you actually put time into getting dressed when we go somewhere. I don't. And I wear jeans, my boots, and a t-shirt is about as dressed up as I'm going to get. And I don't even do that very often because I'm normally just going in, grabbing money and leaving. Like I'm not staying, but if I'm going to be there for the day, I'm going to get dressed. But the fact that just knowing that you're running to the bank and to the shop and home, you're getting dressed for that.
Right.
I fucking love that.
Yeah.
Because you still care enough about your appearance and the way that people perceive you that like you want to be that.
Yeah.
It matters to me.
And I'm fully aware of my parents. I have metal all over my face. I have tattoos on me. I have very visible tattoos, and a lot of them are dark. I have a sexual one. It's not like super sexual, but
It's very sexual. You have a woman with a ball gag in her mouth tattooed on your arm.
I do. That's one of my favorite tattoos. So I'm aware of my appearance, right? So when I am in public, I know I'm a bad bitch. I'm intelligent. I work hard. I have amazing people skills. Like I'm the complete package, in my opinion. But I do my hair, I do my makeup, I dress nice, I enjoy wearing nice dresses because when I'm in public, and I walk with my shoulders back.
Right.
Like if I'm walking past a window, I'm going to look at myself because if my posture is not right, I'm correcting it.
Right.
Because my appearance is the first thing people see of me. That is going to be the first judgment I have of me. And people will be like, oh, well, I don't judge anybody. Bullshit.
Yeah, you judge everyone.
You judge everybody you see based on their appearance, the way their hair done, if their breath stinks, if they have makeup on from the day before. Like you notice those kinds of things. And subconsciously, you're going to start forming an opinion on that person.
Right.
So when I am out in public, I want to be seen as the bad bitch I know that I am. And at work, I feel like I conduct myself that way pretty well. And then there was one day before the shop opened. So when we were at the shop before the hurricane, we would order breakfast. And I don't recall what I was doing. I was probably getting, piercing things ready or whatever. And you were like, let's order breakfast. And you were like, woman. And I stopped whatever the hell I was doing. And I was like, what do you want? And there were people in the shop like, damn, dude, like, how do you get her to do that? Like, she didn't even argue with you. I like that men are envious of you for that.
I do too.
I want men to be jealous of you. I don't want you to be jealous of other men. So I am going to be that bad bitch to everybody in public except for my man.
Right.
When my man wants something from me, you're going to get the feminine soft in front of everybody.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. You submit to me in public.
Right. Oh, I'd go to extremes too. Like if you wanted me to kneel next to you in public, I would do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'd fucking hug your thigh and shit, look up at you. Oh yeah.
That's funny. What does it say about me as a man?
You're a really good
like
fucking man.
that you're willing to submit to that extreme in public. Like,
right.
Makes me feel good.
Good. I'm such a good girl. I'm really just bragging on myself in this one. I think it's because she's boosting my ego a little bit.
Yeah.
And thanks to you, you're welcome, babe. I know there is nothing wrong with wanting that and to want to be taken care of, but at the same time, you have also made me realize that I have a lot of work to do on myself to become a woman worthy of that kind of man. That's fucking huge.
Yeah.
To realize that you are not up to a par for the kind of man you want in your life. A lot of women don't want to admit that. A lot of women think that they're perfect and a man has to accept them for how they are, and they want everything a good man's going to do without being a good woman.
Right.
So the fact that she's taken that step back and she was like, now I have to do all of this work, but she's going to do it for the life that she wants. Mm-hmm. What a bad bitch.
She's got a work ethic.
Right.
That's what it comes down to. We've been saying this since the beginning. Mm-hmm. You're not going to attract the type of person that you want unless you can be the person that is worthy of those type of people.
Right.
You're not going to get like, oh, I almost said some really inappropriate shit just now.
I love that we catch those things in the moment. We're like, oh no.
Yeah. You're not going to get a high class woman if you are a piece of shit man. Mm-hmm. You're just not. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
you might get her, but you're not going to keep her.
You will not keep her. You might land it.
Yeah.
You might like be able to get some evening playtime, mm-hmm. but that's not sustainable if you are not a quality person. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I like that she's willing to do the work.
Me too.
And the fact that she said in the beginning part of that email that she comes from a long line of women who have had to kill themselves to make ends meet, to be that, it means that she's not afraid of doing work.
Right.
It means that she realizes this now and she's like, all right, let's lace our boots up. It's fucking time to go. And she's going to do it. I guarantee you, but she said she's 30.
I'm getting goosebumps. Like, this is really doing it for me. I love that she's gonna have such a dope life.
Yeah.
She's gonna go through a lot of shit.
She said she's 30.
And
so
she's gonna be 30 in April.
by the time she's 35, I guarantee you, if she does the work, she's going to have everything that she wants.
Oh yeah, her life is gonna be totally different.
She's coming into that age now where she's going to be able to find men who are not little boys, who have been working and building their empire. And she's going to come along and have done all the work on herself that needs to be done. And somebody is going to see that and be like, bro, I'm not going to get nagged at. She's not going to get mad that I'm working the hours that I'm working. She's going to understand. Like,
she's going to get wiped up quick.
Yeah.
Her future is so bright, and I'm just so excited for her. Like, I don't know if we're still going to be doing this in 5 years, but in 5 years, if you have like a fleeting thought of us, let me know what's going on in your
check
life.
in. Send us an email.
I have plenty of shit to take care of before I even dream of being a woman that I want for me and for my man. As I said before, you have given me purpose, and now I have to put in the work and strive every day to be better so I can be a fit woman for the man I want to be with. Although I also got to say, you guys kind of fucked me up in a sense now that I have set the bar so high that I can't help but wonder if I will end up alone because no one will be able to reach it. But hey, at least I will give it my best shot and fight the fight. I don't think this is an unachievable.
I don't think it is either.
Right. Like,
I think that what we have is unique, and I think that a lot of people want it, but they don't want to do the work.
right.
Everybody wants the fairy tale. They want to meet Prince Charming and fall in love and everything be perfect, and that's not how it goes. It's just not.
Right. They also have to be able to like take some shrooms and go on a trip to get the mental connectivity we have.
Yeah, that was something else.
What a good time. I enjoy the time I've had with you. This has just been great for me. And also, once you do this work on you, your circle is going to change.
Yeah,
the people in
absolutely.
your life is going to change. So if all you've ever known is struggle and hurt and men ain't shit, you're going to start working on yourself. And the people around you who haven't worked on themselves, don't want to work on themselves, or think that they have nothing to work on, you're going to realize like those people are just dead weight in your life.
You want them gone anyways.
Right. That kind of negativity breeds negativity.
Absolutely.
So once you start thinking positively and changing and working on yourself and you're starting to see life in a new light, those people aren't going to want to do that with you. So you're going to leave behind a very toxic circle, and you're going to move into a world where like, damn, like I didn't even know this shit existed because I was just living my life the way it was and accepted that.
And you have to not be afraid of that. When it happens, you
Right.
need to embrace it and move forward. They say there's a saying that says if you hang out with 6 millionaires, you'll be the 7th. And that goes into anything that you want to do. If you hang around with quality people, you are going to get quality results from being around those people. When you hang around scumbags, you're going to get scumbag results.
Right.
So in a scenario where like I have people that are further along in life that I look up to as mentors, I don't hang out with them very often, but I talk to them when, you know, I have questions or if I see something they post on Facebook or whatever. But I'm now getting to the point where because I've made it as far as I have, people are looking to me to mentor them to get,
Right.
you know what I mean? And though that's very flattering, a lot of them are not doing the work necessary for me to want to associate myself with them. So you're not going to get those quality of people either until you start stepping your game up. And once you do, you will find those people that are like, oh, I really like this person. Like she's got a future. Let me show you how to do this, you know? And that's what happened with me and John. When I met John, I met him because of the comic book store. Dylan was getting into magic. And when I met John and I hit it off immediately. And like, though I don't talk to him every day, if John called me from Alaska and was like, hey, bro, I need you to come get me. Like, bro, it's going to take me like a week to get there, but I'm on my way. You know what I mean? I would do anything I could for the guy. And he's been there for me every time I've called. He's answered the phone. He's never once put me to voicemail. And dude is much further along in life and much better off than I am. So it's nice knowing that there are people that are further along than I am that see me in the light that I want to see other people in.
Right.
It's kind of neat.
I'm now being more consistent in hitting the gym, being mindful of my health, of my thoughts, and intentionally of my actions.
I love everything about that statement.
Accountability and etc.
Yep.
There is so much more I would like to say, but this has gotten long enough.
No, you should have just kept talking.
Right. Like we have read 4-paged emails
of shit.
Right. I would love to read 5 pages of this.
Me
Like,
too.
tell me how your life is getting better and how we've contributed to that and how you're going to implement things in the future. I also love that she's going to the gym more.
I do too.
I love the gym.
I can't stress enough how much your
Right.
mental health is dependent on your physical health.
And she said being mindful of her health and of her thoughts. I used to be a very big negative self-talk person.
I still am.
I know you are.
I get lectured about it
I
daily.
hate it so much. I don't hate that you say it out loud. You saying it out loud let me know where you are mentally. And knowing where you are helps me.
Right.
I just hate that you have those thoughts because I think you're just this great, amazing human being, and I wish you saw you the way I saw you.
Shit, I wish I saw me like that.
But
Tis what it tis.
I have worked so hard on my mental health and not doing that negative self-talk. Like there's times we're out in the gym and I'm struggling, right? Like I have 35 pounds, which is not a lot. It sounds like a bitch number. But like I'm doing the push-up and my arms are struggling. I'm like, come on, you dumb bitch, you got this. And I get it. And I'm like, ooh, that was kind of really harsh. Like I really shouldn't have said that to myself. But like that's how good I've gotten at not negative
That's so
self-talking.
funny. That's so funny.
Thank you so much for the work you do. You have changed my life completely, and I will be eternally grateful and indebted to you guys. Also, feel free to use this on the podcast if you wish. That's it. And then we were invited to Honduras.
Yeah.
Which I love Honduras.
Well, I've never been, but that's,
it's very beautiful.
anywhere that I can take pictures and hike, I'm about it.
Yeah.
It's so wild to me that the emails that we get are such a stark. Are we going to do another one after that?
Oh,
I think it's wild to me that we get such stark differences in the emails that we have, and that some of them are really just people ripping apart their partner and trying to figure out how to go about their lives. And then we get other people that are approaching it from a them standpoint. And the people that are approaching it from a them standpoint and how can I be better and how can I react to this situation or respond instead of react. And those scenarios are refreshing because they're looking at it from their standpoint and not in a selfishness way, but in a personal growth. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot to process. I love getting the positive emails. It's very nice to just get a break from the negative ones. Although I got to be honest, I like that people are still sending us email because we couldn't do this podcast without it. The whole point of what we're doing is to respond to people's shit. We are basically just a reaction video, but
I never thought of it like that.
we're reacting to the emails in these people's personal lives. I feel like we're watching the Truman Show.
I feel like you're giving me too much power right now, and I don't know what to do with it.
You want to go on to the next one?
Did we have another one picked out? Because I have one I would like to speak about.
Is that the Sophie one?
It was not the Sophie one, but
Okay.
yeah, I guess we can do that.
Okay. Well, we can do whatever you want. We have time. It's not like we have anything else going on. It's only 2:00.
So I actually wanted to talk about the one that woman messaged us about weight loss and loose skin and all that kind of
Okay.
stuff.
I didn't read any of that because you were dealing with it. So
Well, I mean, okay.
you want to go on to the next one and we'll just jump right into that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
So yeah.